Join UF Hall of Famer and 14-year NFL vet Shane Matthews every weekday as he brings you all you need to know about your Florida Gators, including news, analysis, and opinions with some of the biggest names in sports. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Or watch us live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Good morning. It's a live edition of Friday edition of PodUp with Matthews in the morning, coming to you from the International Diamond Center Studios. Locations across the state of Florida, right there at Celebration Point in the heart of Gator Nation. Go check out the good folks at International Diamond Center. We'll have JC today. We'll have Keith Neber from ON3 Gators Online. Just get his thoughts on what's going on in Gator Nation. If you missed it yesterday, Gator baseball. JC, by the way, you owe me another lunch.
Oh, do I?
Y'all's ass again.
Oh.
We run rule y'all.
Y'all.
All right, yeah. Gator baseball plays in the semifinals Saturday against Georgia. And then Gator softball today at 11 against the highest paid pitcher in the history of softball.
Yes.
JC, you're on the Titan No More hotline. What's going on?
It's good to be part of the Matador Club. Well, QB, I'll tell you what's going on. You got guys bringing it at 100 miles an hour, 95 miles an hour, and that's ahead of the hitters at this level. I'm sorry. Liam Peterson, 8th appearance in the for Florida now in the SEC semifinals since 2013, but Liam Peterson was just unbelievable. So was McDonald. Old McDonald, 95 miles an hour. 70% of McDonald's first pitches are strikes. That's 5th best in the SEC, bro. And when they get pitching like that, and then you got guys like Ethan Serwick hitting the ball all over America, all over the ballpark, it just nobody's beating these guys. Now, if you watch the SEC network, you will know that Daniel Jackson probably had an agent or somebody pay them for all of the profiles of the great Daniel Jackson, the University of Georgia's catcher, who, of course, is the next Mike Trout. I mean, he's
the player of the year.
Yeah, you just look at him, and he is Mike Trout. He can run fast. He hits the ball, 500 feet. He just does everything. Mike Trout as a catcher is who he is. But you know what? It's just one game coming up on Saturday, and if Florida gets that pitching, forget it. I'll take the Gators right now. Yesterday we said, parlay the Gators with either Mississippi State or Georgia, and you're a winner. Or parlay them with both Mississippi State and Georgia, and you're a winner because of the odds. You got 2-1 odds there.
Well, you would have lost.
No, you would have won. So, no, you could have parlayed them with Georgia and Mississippi State. Do 2 bets. If you do 2 bets and you're getting paid 2-1, you win. As long as Florida wins. Florida has to win. Of course, Florida did win. They run rule of Alabama. I don't think there's any way in hell you can't tell me right now, the way they're playing, that they're not one of the 8 best teams in the country. They should be definitely a top 8 seed ahead of Southern Miss. I don't know what Auburn's going to do this weekend with the Texas Longhorns, but if they beat them, that's going to be tough to pass Auburn because Auburn beat Florida. But I do think that if Florida gets a shot at Auburn or one of the Texas teams by beating Georgia, there's no way in hell you can't tell me this is not a top 8 seed. So that's what Florida's playing for right now, and that gets them at home throughout the entire postseason as long as they win.
Daryl says on the Titan No More text line, great win yesterday for Gator baseball. So sad about Kyle Busch. Life is so tricky. That's one of the worst stories ever. It's crazy. He won a race last week.
Just last week, and then to just suddenly pass away at 41 years old. What hit him? God only knows what hit him.
He at that race last week, he asked for the doctor to meet him because he needed a shot because of a sinus infection. But I don't know. Obviously, we'll find more out. But it's terrible. A lot of people I was watching this morning, a lot of these racers say that he might have been the greatest NASCAR racer ever.
It's hard to believe, man. 41 years old is that's just not right. Something's very wrong there. And I don't know. I mean, when it's your time, QB. We don't have a choice in that, in most cases. So, wow, that's a shame. That is just a damn shame. On the flip side, I've got this right here. I like this thing. This thing is called the Main Street Daily News. It shows up on my driveway every week. I have no idea why it shows up on my driveway. I didn't call them, but I'm thinking about supporting this nice little newspaper because look at this headline right here, QB. What's it say? It says UF's 36 hole golf course gets sent to the state for review. This is all positive. This means that essentially the state will check off on it. It'll come back to the Board of County Commissioners. They will finalize.
Hopefully.
You're gonna get your golf course. No, it's happening. See this guy right here? This guy right here happens to be my younger brother. And I know what happens at the Board of County Commissioners. So he's basically telling me all they got to do is send it back and buy it. They have a month to do it, and June 23rd, it's done. So you're going to get your golf course, Gator fans. And look, there he is. The magic of the swinging.
Did you wear that shirt on Wednesday? Did you wash it?
I think I've worn it every day this week, QB. I don't need to wash it. I go work out in it. I sleep in it. I go to work in it. It's when the Gators are playing golf, QB, this is magic. Good things happen. Yeah. And so right now, good things are happening. They just rolled through Columbus, Ohio. I mean, rolled through Columbus, Ohio. One day the football team's going to get a chance to do that. But I don't know when. But I tell you, this is all good news. And I tell you, this little Main Street Daily News is
Mike Rideout, who comes on our program, he
good. Yeah, Mike Rideout's in there. It's a good local paper. I'm looking at it. I might just go ahead and send them money. Send some money.
There you go.
Yeah.
So about concrete builds firm foundations for generations. You stand on it. We stand by it. Wanted to also mention about, I just lost my train of thought. It happens. God dang it. Anyway, Ron 71 on YouTube, brought to you by Claude Plum, says, now that Coach O has joined Lane at LSU, any chance they add Sharon Moore and Bobby Petrino? Bobby Petrino, I want to say, is the OC at North Carolina for Bill Belichick, I think.
I want to say that too. Yeah, I want to say that too. I
love Bobby Petrino. I think he's one of the greatest college play callers of all time.
I can't disagree with that. Yeah. He kills you on defense. He attacks, he's scheming you, he's this, he's that. It's really surprising to me that he hasn't won more as a head coach. But maybe that's because he's at Arkansas. He was head coach at Arkansas.
Yeah, but he did pretty well.
He did.
At Arkansas, he did okay at Louisville
when he had Ryan. Yes, and when he had Ryan Mallett at Arkansas, they were beaten. They were right there in every game. So sometimes it just comes down to who you got playing for you. But yeah.
Coy says, "Watch your mouth." Number 3 is the grace. I know Earnhardt. I'm just going by what.
Oh, you fired up.
And all these guys that just watched a little clip on it, okay?
You fired up Coy.
Fired up the damn racers. NASCAR boys. Andy says Ruben Chinulu is back. Yes,
he
the
is.
Gators are set. We still ain't got a great shooter, but it is what it is.
UF's Gators, UF's. Tony is crazy, out of his mind. MSNBC. It's now called MS Now, Tony. But it's god awful. So I think it's great. I mean, yesterday was a good day if you're wearing orange and blue. It was a very good day. You had Chinulu's news. I think that's outstanding. And then the baseball team just really gosh almighty, they're playing good right now. If they get that any kind of offense like this with that pitching staff, woohoo, better get them now to win it all. The odds are good now. They won't be much longer. They're going to get shorter and shorter. So
JC, let's recap our Peachland Dental picks.
All right, we want to talk that.
But I want to recap. I want to go back to Wednesday when we did the picks. Okay. You told me that this golf course was much tougher.
Well, they changed it. They did a lot of work on it, but going 9 under to lead the first round is not what I would say very difficult.
No.
But I was happy to see my first pick currently almost get the first round leader ticket cashed, but Brooks Koepka is tied for second at 8 under, and I just think it's just a matter of time, I should say, when this guy is back competing for majors. Your guy, you have 2 tied for 4ths right now, Siwoo and Thorpe Bjornsson. I have Tony Finau at 4 under, only 4 strokes behind Brooks Koepka, but that's all the way down to 32. Then there's Spieth, Rogers, Schmid, and Blades Brown. So
Blades Brown is 500 par, by the way, at
yeah,
19 years old.
so he's right there. I am surprised they went that low. But because they did some work on this course to try to make it more challenging, but apparently that's just not what we saw yesterday.
Challenging is very simple.
Yes, grow the rough
and narrow the fairways.
Yeah.
And you have a challenging golf course.
That's
when you
really
can land 747s and there is no rough,
yes.
They are gonna just destroy your golf course.
Yes. That's exactly right. I mean, it is not that hard to figure out, guys. It's just not. I mean, so that's what they did at the PGA last week, and look at what happened. You know, your winning score was, what was it, 6 under? What was it last week, QB? The winning score last week? What was it?
I think he got to 9 under. I think
it was 9.
He had like 5 or 6 under on the back.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, Aaron Rye went nuts on the last 10 holes. He was 6 under on the last 10 holes. So yeah, it was. I think you're right about that. But the whole field was challenged, and that's what we like watching. Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah, no question.
Andy's question on Facebook Live brought to you by Mello. Do you think the 5 Gator golfers we roll out at Nationals can all make a career out of golf? It's hard to say. It's so hard, man. There's been so many great players that have won. That have come to the university. They go to all these colleges. It's just so hard to get your tour card, man. So hard.
Incredible. It's 125 guys make that tour. That's nobody. When you think about all the people that play golf in the world, to be top 125 in the world is crazy. It's very, very rare.
Text on the Titan text sign from Gator Josh and Wamama. He says, with the Dolphins and the Cardinals projected to be the worst NFL teams next season, if you were the number one pick at quarterback next year's draft, which team would you rather get drafted to and why? It's a great question. I think when you're going to be the number one quarterback or the first pick of the draft, you really don't care where you go because I guess you do, but you're going to be going to a bad football team because they're drafting first.
Yeah. I think part of that answer for me would be Tennessee, Arizona, Washington State, or Florida, or Texas, wherever there's no state income tax.
Yeah.
And you got 3 teams in Florida. You've got 2 in Texas. That's 5. You got 1 in Washington State. That's 6. You've got 1 in Arizona. That's 7. And you've got 1 in Tennessee, that's 8. And there's 32 teams, so you've got 25% chance of landing on a place maybe that doesn't have a state income tax. Captain Trash, great shirt, JC, Captain Trash. Good to hear from you, Captain Trash. The F4 pilot, our great friend in Pensacola, Fort Walton Beach area, flying old Chinese training props. Good to have you with us again, as always. This shirt was picked up at Gator Golf Day, and I should have picked up about 6 of them because they were sitting in a box.
If you would join the Booster Club, you get a lot more gear. Miapa is a proud sponsor of Gator Athletics at all Gator baseball home games. When the Gators win, you win
I'm about to.
Cuban coffee from any Miapa location. Just show your ticket. Go Gators. Go Miapa. JC,
let's go out to La Costa and go watch the golf team win the national championship. All it is it's just a plane ride. I've got a place to stay there. I've got a good friend who's got a palace right there at La Costa Resort. We could stay with him and watch golf for 5 days, dude. Let's do it. What do you say? Let's just go take the week off, and we'll report live, from La Costa.
Brad in Mississippi sent me this screenshot from, looks like Twitter. And I don't know why he brought this up, or obviously it looks like Ole Miss and Tennessee fans were arguing online, comparing Ole Miss and Tennessee football since 2014, JC.
Wow.
Who do you think has more wins?
I think Mississippi does.
Ole Miss has 104 wins. Tennessee has 95.
Yes, I was right.
11-win seasons. Ole Miss has 2. Tennessee has 1. 10-win seasons. Ole Miss has 5. Tennessee has 2. So his question, are the Rebels superior to the Vols?
Well, if you're going to use that time frame, absolutely they are. Now, have the Vols won a championship? Yes. Has Ole Miss? No. Does Ole Miss have one of the top 5 best quarterbacks coming back this season? Absolutely, yes. Is that the primary way you win football games? Absolutely, it is. And I think Pete Golden is just good enough not to screw it up there. Don't you think he's a pretty good defensive coordinator?
Yeah, I think so. Andy wants you to know, JC, even though those QBs land in no tax states, they still have to pay taxes in the states they play in.
That is absolutely true.
But the good thing about it is, so they play what? They play 17. Sometimes you have 9 home games. Sometimes, so let's say player X has 9 home games. At least in those 9 games, he's not paying the state income tax.
And if you are lucky enough to be drafted by one of the 4 teams in the AFC South, you only play in one state during the year, basically. Well, that's not true, but you're playing all of your conference rivals, with the exception of Indianapolis, in a tax-free state. So Houston Texans, Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Tennessee Titans all play in tax-free states. And then each of them go to Indiana one time. That's not a high-income state. That's a great state. So that's the conference you want to play in, or the division rather you want to play in, is the AFC South. How's that sound?
Chris asked here on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, who were the 5 teams that wound up making it to nationals for golf? How do we like the Gators' chance? Well, there were 4 or 5 regionals, the top 5 from each. So you're going to have 20 or 25 teams there.
It's going to be unbelievable.
The Gators, they're the number 2 seed overall behind Auburn. Love.
You do love
the Gators' chances. It's the best team that Coach J.C. Deacon has had since he's been at Florida.
I'm all for it. All we got to do, Delta gets right there nonstop out of Orlando.
And the Lady Gators, I think they crank up today in their national championship bid. And they're very good.
God bless the Lady Gators. I mean, this group is unbelievable. Here's a quote from J.C. Deacon. J.C. Deacon told the commissioners that the university's current facilities have held the Gators back in recruitment and performance. He said the student-athlete experience is probably not on par with other schools as well. So the planned 36-hole championship course could elevate Gator potential. Quote, it'd be a game changer for the athletic department and certainly our golf program, and I think it would put us in a position to be the best program in the entire country if we were able to do this. And right now they don't have that. And they're one of the best.
Been talking about that on this podcast for 5 years.
Well, we're going to keep talking about it. That's the only way people are going to hear it, QB, is if you keep reminding them. It's just like the guy on the Shawshank Redemption who kept writing the governor for more books for his library. Eventually, they all came, and it liberated the jail. So I think, listen, man, I think you just got to be persistent. This coach, if he wins it this year, that'll be 2 wins in 5 years, QB? So,
No. We won it in 2023.
2 wins in 3 years. 6, yeah. So I mean, it's just amazing. So I to do what he's doing over with this place over here, which by the way is a great golf course. The sand. So I had some friends that actually played there yesterday, and they said the sand traps are phenomenal. He said the whole layout is phenomenal. The greens are the best in North Florida, but it's not what they need or what they want. They want more, and they should get more, and they might. And they probably will now because of this.
This day in sports brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union. Put some star power to work in your financial life at Campus USA Credit Union. We're a proud member, Stephen Orr Spurrier Banks. How much money do you think Coach has got in the bank there?
I can make an educated guess, but
I don't think his money is in there. Maybe a little bit to write a check here or there. 2022 PGA Championship. At Southern Hills, 2017, the Alabama Crimson Tide, Justin Thomas beats Will Zalatoris by 1 stroke in a 3-hole playoff after a 54-hole leader, Mito Pereira, double bogeys at 72nd hole.
Justin Thomas.
Yes.
Outstanding. Just a great golfer, 2-time PGA winner. So I think he's a 2-time PGA winner, and he's won the TPC as well. Lots of wins for him. But I like Brooks's chances this weekend. I really do. I just think he's trending up. He's an uptrend, stock up on Brooks. So
Andy says, as asking on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel, do you think the Gators play the 5 players from Columbus, or can Noah Kent and Parker Bell sneak in? No, he's playing those 5. Noah Kent, I don't think has played at all this year.
No,
Parker Bell's played just a little bit, not a lot. He's the 6th man. He goes if there's somebody sick or JC wants to make a last minute change, he's the one that goes in. And Dan mentions here on Facebook Live, I think I brought this up yesterday, the Gators won the All Sports SEC trophy, first time since 2017, 2018. So take that, Alabama.
Oh God, help me get through it. So Barone 71, who you like tonight? Spurs, OKC, QB, who do you like? It's 1.5 point spread. I would money line either side if I really had conviction on either side. I know these teams are battling with injury issues, especially Jalen Williams for the Thunder. But Fox and Harper are probably going to be out for the Spurs. That puts Stephon Castle back at the point. He turned the ball over 9 times, but he scored a bunch of points in 38 minutes in game 2. I think that puts pressure on the Spurs. I'll probably take OKC, but I mean, flip a coin on this, man. I don't know. These two teams are really good.
They're very good.
They're very good. And how about my Knickerbockers? I got 2 wins away from cashing that Eastern Conference ticket, and I got 8-1 on the championship. And if they score points, they can play with anybody. I just don't know if they have enough for either one of these 2 Western Conference teams, but injuries play a factor in this. And if Williams doesn't get back for OKC, and if those 2 guards for the Spurs are out or don't play healthy, I think the Knicks are live. Absolutely do. And I think the Knicks are showing us right now. They're going to probably end Cleveland at 5. A gentleman's sweep is what they call that.
It goes to show you, like, it's kind of like the NFL. If you can play, they will find you no matter where. I was watching the Spurs the other night, JC, and I only watched a little bit here and there in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I didn't know who anybody was on their team.
I didn't know.
Never even heard of their damn coach.
You didn't know who Victor Wembanyama?
No, I knew him, but I'm talking about those guards.
Yeah, sure. Right.
And one of them's like a rookie.
Yeah, Castle. Well, listen, they need those guards to be healthy, and Castle can't do it all by himself all the time. He's got a turnover problem, but he can score. But I think they need to protect the basketball. If they don't, OKC's going to win this. But it's going to be tight because San Antonio is the only team in the West, the only team in the NBA that really faced OKC head up and beat them. So this is a good damn team. I got no vision on this one, but I love the Knicks in the East, obviously. That's why I bet on them 2 weeks ago, and they're proving it through. And I think they'll be done with Cleveland in 5. I think Cleveland's problem is mental. You get James Harden on your team, and just things don't go right. And Donovan Mitchell, as great as he is, cannot do it by himself. Josh Hart was unstoppable for the Knicks, and I just think they got too much depth, New York does, for Cleveland. So let's go with the Knicks. In hockey last night, Montreal continues to amaze people. They blew out the Carolina Hurricanes, who had 12 days off. That's hard to come back from when you're off for 12 days. As a QB, as an athlete, when you're off for that long, it's hard to keep that edge, I would think. It does help with injuries and bumps and bruises, but this time of year, nobody is going to complain about that. They're just going to play it out. And Vegas tonight with Colorado. Colorado better win. You don't want to fall too down to John Tortorella, who's a Stanley Cup winning coach, and that's who's coaching Vegas right now.
Yeah. So that
was stimulating there.
When you say that one another time, that's too long.
What's the matter, QB?
I got text going, I got Facebook, I got YouTube up, and I got multiple things I wanted to talk about because I
pick one
when you're jabbering, and then forget what I want to bring up.
Well, I mean, QB, what's wrong? What's going on with your memory here lately? Maybe we got to get you on some ginkgo biloba or something. Go take that jellyfish medicine over there at CVS, the Prevagen. That's the jellyfish. The jellyfish might clear up your fog, QB. You got fog, or maybe some creatine would help.
I take creatine. I've been taking creatine for years. It doesn't help.
Doesn't help.
Asa says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel.
I like Asa.
Guys, can y'all tell us how we can watch the Gators golf team play in this national championship? You know who's carrying? Yeah, it'll be on the Golf Channel.
Yep.
They don't go. I don't think they start till next week. And what happens is you have an individual deal, and then if your team does well enough, then you go into the match play. But yeah, we'll keep you updated. It doesn't start till next week.
I'm really close. I'm serious. I'm not kidding when I say this. I'm close to calling that guy up at La Costa, grabbing the wife and two friends and going. I want to watch that golf, damn it. I want to see that resort. And it's possible we might be doing the show at 5 o'clock in the morning
Well,
because
you
they're
will,
all.
I won't.
Well, no, you'll be here at 8 o'clock in the morning, which means
Right.
it's 5 o'clock in the morning over there. By the way, they're talking about making daylight savings time permanent in the United States. I really am. Please, I want daylight for longer. Yes, do that.
Silent J says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, how good was Jay Wright at Nova?
Very good.
3 of the Knicks starters, Brunson, Hart, and Bridges, were all they were all on the same damn team, I think. And then they got DiVincenzo. I can't even talk today.
It's Friday.
Dante DiVincenzo.
Dante DiVincenzo.
Vincenzo, yeah.
Get some Italian heritage. Go eat some pasta and some red marinara sauce. Get some Italian in you. Dante DiVincenzo. And, look, he's a Hall of Famer. Great coach. Hall of Famer. No question.
I'd love to see Jay Wright coach in the NBA.
He's great. He's so good. They came down to Gainesville and played a couple times. I do remember seeing him on the sideline, all dressed up in his suit and tie, looking like a real coach, not some guy just out of the gymnasium there. I love it. I love Jay Wright. I think
Lisa says on Facebook Live, I got to get that one back. Hang on.
Okay.
Regarding golf. Brought to you by Mellon. Says, so you think this team is better than the 23 team with John DeBoyd, Bondi, and Ricky? I think way better.
Way better.
I do.
Okay. Well, Cress is amazing. Swanwick is amazing. The Parker boys.
Here's the thing: they only have, out of their starting 5, they only have 1 senior.
That's tremendous. It's tremendous. He's got a machine going over there, man. And I'm glad that things are developing. I think he's going to finish his career here at Florida as the coach. I don't know why he'd ever want to leave. And
you better tell your brother to build a damn golf course.
It's coming. It's absolutely coming. I know it's taken a long time. Everything seems to take a long time around here for whatever reason. I don't understand why, but some things never change. There will never be a on campus football stadium at our local high schools. That'll never happen, except for Santa Fe, of course. But that'll never happen for the 3 Gainesville schools. It will never, ever happen. That's too bad. But I know
hopefully one day they will at least take care of the playing surface and the seating surface for the spectators where they have to play.
I know. That is horrible.
We got to get out of here and get to Keith Neber.
All right.
And actually talk about Gator football and some
God bless them.
People are interested in it.
Yeah, that's really great. Thank you. I'll see you Monday. Have a great are we on Monday for Memorial Day? We'll figure that out.
We'll figure it out.
All right.
That's JC. Join us on the Titan Lamar Hotline. Did you know gold and silver have outperformed the S&P 500 over the last 25 years? Money Metal specializes in helping first-time investors, plus they're owned by 2 Gator grads, Mike and Stephen Gleason. To learn more, visit moneymetals.com. We're going to take a quick time out, come back. We'll be joined by On3's Keith Neber, who covers the Gators. You're watching and listening to PodUp with Matthews in the Morning from the International Diamond Center Studios. We'll be right back.
Our premium sponsors are Atlantic Roofing, Campus USA Credit Union, International Diamond Center, J.F. Hayden's Craft Liqueurs, Los Landeros Tequila, Meldon Law, Titan MRI and Imaging, Castaway Sauce, UF Health Orthopedics, Michael Schneider PLLC, Florida Legends Gala and Experience, Money Metals, Sensei Asian Bistro. Our gridiron sponsors are Baker Sports, Florida Cracker Oyster, Gallo Car Wash, Miapa Latin Cafe, Peachland Dental, Quality Plumbing, Rue's Ogre State Farm, Silverback Concrete, 84 Lumber, Big Mills Cheesesteaks, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Florida Cracker Kitchen, Gator Dominoes, Ironwood Golf Course, McDonald's of Gainesville, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, UF Bookstores, International Gold and Diamond, Advocare, and MGA Wealth. Watch and listen to us live on Facebook or YouTube. Listen to podcasts wherever, on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And to advertise, be sure to call my man Freddie at 352 284-3733.
Hi there, this is Coach Steve Spurrier, and I want to let you know that by popular demand, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill's delicious brunch is now served in a premium buffet. You have spoken, we have listened, and we're now serving Gainesville's only elevated buffet, complete with an omelet station, ginger sage chicken sausage, shredded short rib, plus you can enjoy bottomless mimosas and Bloody Marys. So join us every Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 3 for the best brunch in town.
Naysayers. Setbacks. Injuries. Life throws a lot of hurdles your way. The key is just keep jumping them.
The jewelry store with the most likes, the most positive reviews, the most raving fans is International Diamond Center.
IDC is definitely a place that I will come to as long as I live here. This will be my go-to place always.
Literally the best jewelry store in town. You'll make friends for life coming in here. I felt like family from the beginning. The value was extraordinary.
I've got a beautiful diamond on my finger, and I'm very proud of it.
International Diamond Center.
I'm very happy to show it off.
At Celebration Point and online at shopidc.com.
Gainesville's best-kept secret is finally being revealed. Introducing Sensei Asian Bistro. Located in Celebration Point next to Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, Sensei delivers a one-of-a-kind Japanese-French fusion experience that's as refined as it is unforgettable. Indulge in signature dishes like our smoked New York strip, Chilean sea bass, matcha curry, or the crave-worthy chunggang chili chicken. Pair it all with handcrafted cocktails, fresh crudo oysters, or our premium A5 Wagyu tataki. Sensei Asian Bistro. Make your reservation today.
Welcome back to the International Diamond Center Studios. Florida Cracker Oyster Bar and Grill is the ultimate spot for seafood and more. No matter the occasion, they're ready to welcome you Florida Cracker style. Check them out, Keystone Heights. We're going back to the Titan Nebuhr Hotline. We're joined by On3's Gator Online, Keith Neber, who does a great job covering the Gators. Good morning, Keith. How you doing? Appreciate you joining the program.
I'm great, Shane. Appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah, I wanted to have you on because I've had a lot of people text on the Titan Nebuhr text line about an article that you wrote, and I guess you got to be a member of On3 to read it. But kind of tell us, you did like a comparison between John Sumrall and Charlie Pell.
Yeah, well, as we've gotten to know John Sumrall a little bit, and I had been tracking him for years because I covered Auburn for a lot of years, and he was an assistant at Troy, but I really didn't know any more than most people about him when he got the job. But as we learned more about him and got to know more and showed up at more press conferences, and I ran into him down here in Tampa before the NCAA tournament for basketball. I mean, as you got to know him a little bit, one thing became clear that, and everybody said it that knew the guy, that he hated to lose more than he loved to win. And to me, that sounded like the guy you played for. And it also sounded like Urban Meyer. But there was another guy that it sounded like, and it was Charlie Pell. But was that just me thinking that, remembering this era as a little kid, or was it the reality? So I reached out to Lee McGriff, the Gator great, who you know so well, who not only played for Coach Doug Dickey in the 70s, but coached with Dickey in 78 with Spurrier, by the way. And when Dickey was fired, Charlie Pell only retained a few people. Lee McGriff was one of them. So he got the bird's eye view of that unbelievable transition, which was one of the biggest transitions in Florida history, going from Doug Dickey to Charlie Pell. And I said, am I just dreaming this up, or are there parallels here? And he said, there's a lot of them. And he proceeded to talk about, obviously they're both defensive coaches, Sumrall and Charlie Pell. They both realized, and one of the things Charlie Pell did early on, Shane, was he started something called Operation Saturation. Knew the fan base was fractured, was hurting in 1978, 79. He knew that Florida needed money. That sounds familiar, right? Different eras, but you still need lots of money. The facilities needed upgrades. Well, people can argue about that or not, but it's happening. It's going to happen. Florida Field, the Swamp, is going to be renovated. So there were a lot of different parallels. Team coming off 4 wins, an era filled with, how about this, Shane, near misses and mind-numbing or head-scratching decisions. Did that sound familiar? So there were all these parallels. Now, look, different eras, different systems. Pell came in with no real OC in that first year. Didn't hire Mike Shanahan until after year one. A young but a young creative OC. Well, that sounds familiar. And so there was just one parallel after the other, but it really just started with the fact that it was two guys that hated to lose and would do anything to win. And as it turned out, Shane, I didn't even realize this and never put two and two together. John Summerall is from the Huntsville area of Alabama, but it's actually from a little bit south of Huntsville. And his high school is only 42 miles from Charlie Pell's high school in Albertville, Alabama. So it's two guys cut from the same cloth, a hardworking area of Alabama. Their two high schools actually play each other on Friday nights in the fall in football. So again, there was just one parallel after the other. Obviously, Charlie Pell had a much greater rebuild. There was some talent. I mean, Chris Collinsworth, David Little, like two of the all-time Gator greats, but that was probably the most significant difference, the talent aspect. But again, John Summerall's having to get out there and he's having to meet people just like Charlie Pell did. They started Operation Saturation. Pell and his coaches went all across the Sunshine State, met with high school coaches in May, obviously, during the evaluation period. And Pell's told these guys, look, you're going to every single high school in Florida. I don't care whether they have a good prospect or not. You're going to make inroads with people. And quite frankly, as much as Lee McGriff loves Doug Dickey, that wasn't him. It was all business. If Carroll City had a player and Coral Gables didn't, their staff was going to Carroll City and they weren't going to Coral Gables. The other thing is during those same trips, Shane, Charlie Pell met with donors. Well, that's what John Summerall's been doing the last several weeks. He's going and doing this TV deal all across the state. But while he's there, he's meeting with high donors to get them more invested. It's a grassroots thing, but in the 2026 era. So I said a lot. I hope I hope it made sense there.
No, it does. And it's interesting because, I didn't grow up a Florida fan. I mean, I know who Charlie Pell was, but was Charlie Pell the one that actually started all the Gator clubs?
Yeah, I believe, again, I was just a baby here, but, from Lee McGriff is like the greatest resource in the world for me.
Right.
I know him. I believe so. I don't know whether he necessarily started them, but that's when they came out of the dark ages. In fact, the whole program came out of the dark ages in that era. And they became really just a hugely popular thing. I mean, there was a time when the head coach would go to 24 of those a year. Now they don't really do any. I mean, there's no real – now it's all about meeting the whales, the high-level donors, obviously. But, yeah, that's really when – I don't know whether it technically started because Lee said that Ray Graves in the 60s had been a guy that went around the state and liked meeting with people. Dickey was not that guy, but I don't know what they called it. It might have had a different name. But essentially, for all intents and purposes, that's when it started.
Yeah. So you've been around him. Obviously, you knew him before he came here, and you covered Auburn. And I think Auburn thought they were going to get John Summerall as their next coach, but he decided to come to Florida. Just talk about, I've talked to a lot of guys in the media. It's like a breath of fresh air. He reminds me a lot of Coach Spurrier. I know people say Urban Meyer as well. I get it, but he stands at the podium and just kind of says what's on his mind. It's none of this coach speak, If player X ain't getting it done, he's going to let you know. Just talk about it from a media standpoint, how much better it is for you guys to work with a guy like John Summerall.
Well, I know a lot of people don't like the media. That's just the way it goes. But essentially, I hope I'm using the right words here. We're just a conduit. We're the middleman. We're the people that get the message to the viewers, the readers, all that stuff. So the more a coach talks, the more engaging he is, the more anecdotes he gives. So I love anecdotes. That's where Spurrier was so great. Shane, you were a big shot in college. I was a nobody, but I did cover you for a couple of years when I worked at the Alligator. And Spurrier gave you a window. He gave you a window into the program, right? A view of the program by kind of giving you anecdotes and telling you what was happening. I would argue that John Summerall, he's not as funny as Steve was, but his anecdotes are a little bit even more detailed, quite frankly. I mean, he really pulls several layers back. Now, if he doesn't want to tell you something, he's not going to tell you. But generally speaking, it's funny. We always joke that sometimes college programs guard their information better than the people at the Pentagon do. And it's like, it's football, man. It's football. And I know, Shane, you played. I know it's serious. I get it. But it's football. It's not.
I agree. I'm with you, man. I don't understand how they don't let people come watch practice. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't. Remember when Monty Grow? I think when Monty Grow moved positions one year. I don't know whether you were. I think you were. It might have been going into your last year, Shane. And it was he moved from one safety position to what, the Gator back. I don't even remember what it was, but they asked Spurrier about it. I remember at a press conference. I was a kid. Robbie, Pat, they were all there, and they asked Spurrier about this change, and he goes, "I don't know what the big deal is. We moved the guy this far, basically." And that sort of. And I'm sure I'm missing some elements of that, but that sort of was what he was like. And that's sort of what John Summerall was like. Like, look, man, we're coaching football. This dude's got to block better. This guy's got to tackle. I mean, if this guy's not playing hard, he ain't playing. It's that simple. And it's not simple, but it is simple, if that makes any sense. But again, for us, it's great because he's friendly. He takes the time to get to know people. Everybody wants to feel like they mean something to somebody. I mean, that's the way it is. And, I'll never forget when I was in college, and I've told this story before, Shane. My father passed away in the fall of 92. You guys had just beaten Southern Miss that day, I want to say. I think it was Southern Miss at home. And my father died that night. And Steve Spurrier read about it in the newspaper, or Norm Carlson pointed out to him, whatever the case. And he pulled me aside. Steve did the next Monday or Tuesday at his media session and just said, "Hey, I'm thinking of you, blah, blah, blah." And it meant the world to me because it meant he cared. This guy cared. Well, that's the sense I get from John Summerall. Not that other coaches wouldn't care if he lost a family member. I get that. But Steve Spurrier took the time to say something, and so did his wife. I get the feeling John Summerall is a guy that genuinely cares. And he says this: I want to learn about people. I want to know about people. He's inquisitive. But the crux of that's for us, for everybody watching and listening. The crux of it is, if he's giving us more detail, you're getting more detail. You're going to learn more about this program that you love and you've cheered for. And by the way, this program that has got his hand out and wants your money, you might feel a little bit more invested as you know more about them. And not might, you will. That's just the way it goes. You learn more about the staff. You learn more about the players and their stories, what's going on with the team. If you feel more invested, you're going to be more supportive of a guy, quite frankly. And so he gets it. And Shane, I say this all the time, and I'm going on and on, forgive me. Either he's the most genuine coach that I've ever been around, or he's the world's greatest actor. And either way, I say that's a good thing.
He's pretty good. He's pretty good.
If he's this genuine guy, then that's great. He gets it. He gets what Shane Matthews has left blood on the field at the Swamp. He gets you. He gets me. He gets the fan. Or he's faking it and he's Marlon Brando. But that tells me he's smart enough to fake it. I think that'd be a good thing too. Because some of these guys, Shane, ain't even smart enough to fake it. Like, how could you not understand going in? You got to know what a fan base is thinking, what they want, how they're going to react to things. And so many of these guys, man, they wait their whole lives for these big jobs at schools like Florida, and they get there and it's like a deer in the headlights in many ways outside of the football stuff.
Yeah. Asa on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law, says, Keith, so now that you've had this exposure to Coach Summerall, on a scale of 1 to 10, we know his energy level seems to be off the charts. How would you rate his coaching staff? How would you rate John's ability on paper? He looks like he's setting the world on fire. Where our expectation level as a Gator booster?
Yeah, well, look, I mean, I got to be honest. I'm a reporter, Shane. You've forgotten more about football than I'll ever know. But from our point of view, you look at the staff. I covered recruiting for a lot of years. That's where I cut my teeth. So I look at it, okay, how is this group recruiting? And I feel like he was smart enough. Now, look, NIL dictates so much. We understand that. But he was smart enough from the jump to bring in an offensive assistant and a defensive assistant with South Florida ties. Marcus Davis, the receivers coach, played at American Heritage, but not the one in Plantation, the one in Delray. He's from Boynton Beach. So that gets you into the Broward, Palm Beach area. Look, man, a lot of great Gators that come from Palm Beach and Broward County. And then you hire Brandon Harris. I said Marcus Davis. Sometimes I call him Marcus Harris, but Marcus Davis, the receivers coach. Brandon Harris, your cornerbacks coach, who is an absolute legend from when he played at Booker T. Washington School, right on the interstate down there near downtown Miami and Overtown. It played for his father, who's also an institution down there. And so that gets you into this important area, Shane. Every great Gator team, you played with Rhett. He was from Pembroke Pines. Our friend, the late, great Aubrey Hill was from Carroll City. Every great Gator team had a legend or two or five from South Florida. But at times, I mean, look, Lomas Brown went to Miami Springs, Carlos Alvarez, North Miami. It's at Coral Gables, just tons of guys. But at times it feels like it hasn't really been an important area. But John Summerall said from the jump, this is going to be an important area for me. And lo and behold, they already have 3 commitments from down there. Phil Troutwine, ace recruiter. That was a leap of faith, man. Look, I mean, not in the sense that he's not everybody knew what kind of a recruiter he would be, but he wasn't coaches tend to hire guys from their trees in a sense, Shane. We saw it with Spurrier. I covered Malzahn. It's always from this guy was not in his tree. They didn't really cross paths, but Summerall understood that this guy was an alum. This guy had an incredible track record. Imagine what he could do at Florida. And lo and behold, here we go. You got a first 5-star offensive line commitment in over a decade. So I like what they've done from a recruiting standpoint. From a technical standpoint, I'll leave it to the experts. But the experts, Kevin Steele being a good friend of mine, a former defensive coordinator in the SEC for Nick Saban, Malzahn, all those schools, told me he thought Brad White, the defensive coordinator, was the real deal. He said, Keith, you can't look at the statistics. This guy has been doing pretty damn good things at Kentucky. It's a different world. Let's see what he can do. People say, well, what kind of defense does he run? He's like, Keith, he's going to run a different defense at Kentucky. He ain't going to have the guys that can play corner like he is at Florida, right? He said, trust me, this guy's brilliant. And then you say, look what they say about Buster Faulkner. Shane, you hate not to get too flowery here, but I haven't heard one bad thing about Buster Faulkner. Remember talking to Jaden Baugh's dad when Jaden was trying to figure out what to do. And he goes, man, I'm a fan of Buster Faulkner. Really? I mean, everybody seems to be a fan of this guy. And and again, getting back to those parallels with Pell made the mistake of not doing much offensively that first year, but realized I better go find a young, creative. Now, Buster Faulkner's not in his 20s. Mike Shanahan was, but he went to Minnesota and hired a 27-year-old offensive coordinator in Mike Shanahan, and it worked out. Now, different eras, you weren't, scoring 38 points a game, but Georgia Tech, a lot of people weren't paying attention to Georgia Tech. And then, Shane, they say, well, they ran the ball. We're going to run the ball like them. Well, they had Haynes King. What do you think they were going to do? Haynes King didn't throw like Shane Matthews. Okay. So the feedback has been incredibly positive on most of these guys. And you look at receivers, Shane, I'm going on and on. If you got to cut me off, go ahead. But they got 2 receivers coaches. We made fun of Florida for having 2 O-line coaches, but one of them, Trent McKnight, opposite Marcus Davis, was once a play caller at Georgia State and also did some good things at Georgia Tech as a receivers coach. So Summerall wants to have guys with play calling experience. He doesn't want to be the thing I get from this. And I saw a recent interview. He doesn't feel like he's got to be the smartest guy in the room every time. He's now surrounded himself with the staff. God forbid something happen. Somebody could maybe he's sick for a game. They got a lot of choices of somebody who could be interim. This is an experienced staff that has been around and done a lot of things, seen a lot of things, developed a lot of guys, called a lot of plays.
Yeah, I think he understands too. He probably not going to have Buster Faulkner very long.
Probably not.
Because I think he's outstanding, and I love the way he coaches in practice. That's what stood out the most to me, and I think that's the most important hire. I know people talk about Troutwine and the recruiters and all that kind of stuff. I need somebody that knows how to call plays, and I was really excited getting Buster Faulkner. John wants to know on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mellon Law. Keith, how are we feeling about Jalen Brewster?
Well, for those that don't know, that's a number 1 recruit in the country.
Right.
5-star defensive lineman from Cedar Hill, Texas, committed to Texas Tech. So I'll get you an answer here in a second. But the one thing to know here is everybody knows Texas Tech has a lot of money, right? They're spending money like it's nothing. But here's the other connection. The head coach at Texas Tech, Joey McGuire, once was the head coach at Jalen Brewster's high school.
Oh, I did not know that.
So, you talk about connections, man. So they have literally known this kid. And by the way, he won 3 state titles there at a program that had never won anything before he got there. So he has some real, credibility at that school and in that community. So it's an uphill battle, but he visited Florida twice this year already. And if you notice, Shane, I'm not getting this. I don't know this for a fact, but Florida's got 3 defensive linemen committed right now. They'd like to add a couple more, let's say. But the 3 defensive linemen committed are all rated under 4 stars. Doesn't mean they're not good players. One thing we know about Gerald Chapman, he's been very good at identifying talent and developing that talent. But what it tells me is just, putting 2 and 2 together, they hadn't had to spend a lot of money. That means you got more money left for this guy. Mm-hmm. So from all indications are Florida's willing to go big on this guy. They've got an NFL model basically now, Shane, when it comes to NIL and recruiting. They're like John Summerall says, we're not going to spend a fortune on a guy in high school unless they absolutely have to. priority position, elite player, you spend money. And I think Florida's willing to pony up. But the question is, there are other schools that say he's open, that this kid is open, that he's certainly flippable. I know Texas people think that. I know SMU people think that. And Florida people certainly think that too. But Texas Tech feels really good. That's all I can say. Florida cautiously optimistic. Texas Tech feels really good about hanging on. So.
All right, before we get you out here, Andy's question on Facebook Live brought to you by Mel Laws. On the recruiting front, Keith, do you think Elias Pearl will be a more impactful player than Max Hiller when history is written?
Well, no. He's very good, but a 5-star offensive lineman who, by the way, if Florida potentially could return like 4 starting offensive linemen for next year, from 26 to 27, Maxwell Hiller very well. They think he's college ready. He could be a first-year starter, which you don't see very often on the offensive line. You talk about the number 3 recruit in the country, number 1 interior offensive lineman. But Shane, they've told him he can play, and Ohio State told him the same thing, and Alabama. You can play any of the 5 positions. You got Najee Harris. This be his last year at Florida. I could see him easily moving right into there and being a 3-year, 4-year starter for Florida. It's got to be him. He's the real deal is what everybody tells me.
Yeah, it's a big time pickup, no question about that. Keith, man, time went by very fast. Appreciate your time. Let everybody know how they can follow you on Twitter, read all your stuff. Y'all got any specials or anything going on?
Oh, yeah. Just on Twitter, it's just my last name. It used to be another one, and I got hacked, so I had to make it the hard spelling one. But Niebuhr, Niebuhr, ON3. And at GatorsOnline.com, Shane, just real quick right now, $1 gets your foot in the door. A lot of good stuff. We get the best recruiting team in the country, so that's one reason to join right now. Official visits start next weekend, so you're going to want to stay in touch. But I appreciate you having me on, Shane. Thank you very much.
I appreciate you coming on, and we'll have you on again. That is Keith Neber, who does a tremendous job for On3 at Gators Online. Castaway Hot Sauce, try your signature ball kicker hot sauce inspired by the HBC Steve Spurrier and his famous kick in 1966. Baseball tomorrow, softball today, big series. We'll recap it all on Monday. Have a great weekend, folks. Take care.